Let's look at some of the other things you can do during a Desmos activity from the teacher side. So, one of the things that's important to be able to do is to look at student responses. Now, if you click on individual student slides here, you can see their responses. Each one I click on, I'll be able to see what the student put. But if I want to be able to see more than one response at the same time, I can click up here for the teacher view and go to the slide that I want to see. And now I can see student answers right here. So now I'm able to see more than one student response. If I had more than two students in here taking it, I would see them continuing down the screen. So that is where we spend most of our time, is probably the summary, just to control the pacing in here and to look at individual responses. But if I want to look at responses overall, I'm going to be here. If I want to know what it looks like from the student's point of view, I'll click on that student tab up at the top, and then I'll be able to go through and see what it looks like from the student's perspective. Now there's another tab up here called Snapshots. Let's look at what we can do with that. From the Teacher tab, you'll see above student responses, there are these little camera icons. If I click on one of these, it's going to say snapshot captured. I'm going to go ahead and click on both of these. And you'll notice up here now it shows I have two snapshots. So I can click on this. Now this is great for at the end of a lesson or when we're taking a break to see how students have done, where their understandings and misunderstandings are, or to start up the next day's lesson with a review and going over things that you saw that students were understanding or misconceptions you saw popping up. So what you can do is you can take your snapshots and drag them in and put them in order and basically create yourself a little presentation of student responses that you want to show to the students. So as you saw, I'm able to drag them around, put them in a different order, and then I'm going to click present. And now I can have this up on my projector talking to the students about it. And notice it does not have any student name attached to it. So you can talk about their work without putting any students on the spot. So I did put two snapshots here, so you can see I can click next and we can go to the next one and so on. So you can very quickly and easily make yourself a presentation to go over with the students using their work as the information in the slides. So that takes care of these tabs up here. A couple of other things are some menu items over on the left. I'm going to go back to my summary page. Right here, this anonymize button will just make up names for your students so that if you do need to show your screen to the students and you don't want to accidentally show the students' work to them, you can anonymize the students while you're presenting to them so that they don't feel on the spot. Another thing you can do, and I still have my student account up over here, is you can pause. Now, we went over pacing in another video. You can pause the activity so that the students stop working on it for a bit. If you need to say something to the class, this is a great tool. So I'm going to click pause, and you'll see that over here it says activity paused, and I can no longer, as a student, interact with it. This is great to get the students' attention, to get them to stop for a moment and listen. When you're ready for them to move on, click pause again, and it's active once more. Now, another thing that's really cool in Desmos is feedback. So I'm going to give some feedback to this student on one of their slides. Now we only have one bit of information here and it's very wrong. I just put in some random information. So if I click on this, you'll see that I can see my students' responses. And then up here at the top, there's this little icon. It's lesson feedback. So I'm going to click on this, and now I can type some feedback to my individual student. So I'm going to say, hey, take a look at where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so I can leave a little note. I might give more details, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to be really short here. And then I can send that. Now, if you notice on my student account, I now have a little 1 here, and students can click here and see that they have feedback for screen 2. Now, I do want to point out, if I go on to screen 3, screen 4, etc., it's going to still have that feedback no matter what slide I'm on, but it tells me go to screen 2 because that's what the feedback is for. So I can just click on that as the student and it takes me to the slide that this is attached to. So that is a great way to give feedback to your students as they're working through the material. So that takes care of the tabs across the top, takes care of these 3 buttons here, and then gives you an insight into how feedback works. And hopefully this will help you as you work through Desmos activities with your students.